Greetings everybody. Just some more comments on the way our society is heading. It turns out it's the 31st of October 2011. It's a Monday and it's the day before Melbourne Cup Day, which is the first Tuesday in November, which happens to be the 1st of November this year. And a couple of comments on what's been happening for the last few days. Qantas grounded all of their fleet over the weekend as a result of continued industrial action on the part of a range of unions, and they have stranded about 69,000 people all around the world, both within Australia of course and overseas. And this was sure was a decision that was not taken lightly. They will have been well aware, the management will have been well aware of the impact that this would have on the brand of Qantas as such, and I'm sure would not have been taken lightly. They obviously were very concerned about the union demands and where Qantas might be going. The unions, on the other hand, have been complaining that Qantas haven't been dealing fairly with them, and they're only asking for a reasonable reward for their efforts. So around the world we have 67,000 people stranded, and Qantas and the unions have been ordered to chat for the next 21 days, and Qantas is in the business of starting the airline up again and trying to overcome some of the problems that the individual passengers have faced. The other thing that's happened is much more mundane. I went down the street at about lunchtime today on my electric bike, and I just went down to buy some food for lunch, and it was probably the busiest day that I have seen down at our little village. I couldn't believe this. Here we are at the end of October on a Monday. The place was full of school children, the place was full of mothers, the place was full of fathers, more so than over a weekend. It was absolutely extraordinary. I couldn't figure out why. And then the penny dropped. It's the Monday before the public holiday on Tuesday. In Melbourne we have a public holiday for a race, a horse race. Would you believe that? And now people take the Monday off as well to give a 4-day long weekend. In the days when I was a worker, if you took the Monday off before Cup Day, you were fired, unless you managed to get a doctor's certificate to show that you were in fact ill and entitled to take the day off. These days people just take the day off, and in fact, interesting to chat to some of my kin, the companies are now shutting down because they say there's no point in them working on the Monday, because so many of the people with whom they deal aren't at work because they take the day off. There has been a proposal by some people to make it a formal day off. So here we have two little snippets as far as society is concerned. We live in an absolute fool's paradise. Have they never heard of the problems that are going on in Europe at the moment, of the financial crisis, the ongoing euro crisis, and the great difficulties that the world is facing in terms of running the economies in a reasonable way? And yet here on one hand we have all of our people looking to take a day off, really looking on it as their right to take a day off on the Monday rather than having to go to work for one day and then having a day off. Let's take the day off as well, with a considerable loss to the economy. And on the other hand we have the unions and Qantas in a fierce fight, but I don't think the unions quite realise that if they get their way, it is quite likely that Qantas will in fact go under. And in fact this has happened in Australia on a number of occasions where unions have insisted on wage demands. The company has said that the company would fold if they had to meet those demands, but the unions insisted that the companies were required to under the law, and shortly thereafter the companies folded, and of course all the union workers were out of a job. This could easily happen with Qantas again. It could easily happen to Australia again. We just don't work hard enough anymore. We really expect to have time off. I was listening to the radio the other day, and there was a union program that I was listening to, and they were proudly boasting they have a 5-day weekend, And not only do they have the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off because of Cup Day, they take the Monday off. They also got the Friday off as well. So here we have a group, fairly large group, having an additional 5-day break. The cost of the economy, the cost of the individual is very considerable, and let's face it, most of these costs come back to the individual in terms of increased prices, and of course increased prices means the unions want more money so that they can meet these prices which they have brought about by their actions. We live in a crazy, crazy world. In Australia, we really live in a fool's paradise. I hope we can continue to live in a fool's paradise. It would be very nice, but I think one of these days the rest of the world in reality is going to come and slap us in the face. So, I guess at the moment, good luck to everyone. They're all having fun. I hope we can get away with it for a while. So that's the story for today, and I'll be back with more grumps and groans and stories about society later on. Bye for now.